everybody. Good morning or good afternoon or good evening, depending on what time it is for you where you are. Happy Thursday. Welcome back to a shiny, fresh Hazel stream. It's a short one. We're doing Itsy Bitsy stream today. Also, you can't see. There it is. We're doing Itsy Bitsy stream today. I have to leave early, and then I have to do it again tomorrow because I'm the worst. But to make up for it, we're just gonna pack as much fun as possible into approximately an hour and a half. We seem low today, camera-wise. I'm just sitting up straight, and when I start slouching, it'll make more sense. Hi, Kitty. Do you want to come up here? Morning, Hazel. Love your content. Hoping you're having fun in remix. Well, thanks. I am planning to remix today. I just wanted to check out something on beta real quick before I forget, so I don't run out of time later. Kitty, do you want to come sit? Scoop the cat. Sirius with a 27-month reset. Thank you very, very much. Gamer Neck hasn't activated yet. Isn't your shirt anti-Canada? No, it's not. Mediocrity Squared, thank you for the 25-month reset. Appreciate it. More bronze and remix. It was so funny to me that it happened basically the day after I finished upgrading all my gear. And I don't know why it is, but that satisfies me somehow. I need to ask Flabby something. Hang on. How short is short? Half. We're gonna do roughly 90 minutes. Okay, I'm just missing it. I'm looking. I found an item that was called Delete Me 37, which I'm sure won't keep that name, but it would be funny if it did. These are recipe reagents. There's Delete Me 37. I just wanted to see if I could sort out. Wow, there's a lot of stuff in this vendor. Kazalgar tomato. Sir, ma'am, that is the pomegranate icon. Wave thread. No, that's not right. That's not what I want. Maybe I missed it. Maybe there's more stuff over here. Equipment enhancements. There we go. Amulet or ring jewelry can have up to 2 sockets. So in the War Within, you can have 2 sockets on your rings and 2 sockets on your neck. 1, 2. And I think there's also a way to add, you can add a socket to your helmet and your bracer and your belt if they're PvP items. I'm not gonna game that hard right now, but just for the moment. Can I buy just like some generic mastery haste maybe? Haste mastery haste. Just, I don't know what the stat priority is for War Within, but it just seems like a good bet. Oh, I should do enchants too. I got her bars and her keybinds and everything set up, but I didn't do this. Mastery haste. Yeah, that'll work. Give me like 10 of those. We'll just start slapping them on there. Amulet or ring. Cannot be modified. Oh, jeez. Oh, no. Oh, man. Is it because they're green? It's probably because they're green. Hang on. Assistance is coming. Bought the raid ring and a PvP ring. Okay. Alright. Bought the raid ring. Because I'm not getting anything crafted. That's too much. Are there rings on here? No, that's a trinket. I mean, he is the trinket tour. It's gonna be one of those days. It's only, it's not that much raid testing today. There's more tomorrow. But I just want to make sure I'm all good. And I thought I set everything up yesterday, but I clearly missed some stuff. Do you have an opinion on the odds of getting remix arsenals? Pretty close to having everything else. My guess is as good as yours. I can be optimistic if that'll make you feel any better. But I don't have any thing better to base it on. Whereby am dumb. And I log on at raid test time, find a group. Yeah, there will be groups in Group Finder on beta. I would start looking like 15-20 minutes early. Goblin for the PvP stuff. Okay. On the pedestal. Oh, this one. The small one. Okay. So I need a PvP. I mean, I guess I should probably do the bracers and stuff, but like rings certainly. One PvP ring. And then a raid neck. They're all gonna have Versa on them. So there's a ring. Let's just start with that. Can I put some sockets on it? Why can't I put sockets on it? Add one socket to an amulet or ring. Jewelry can have up to 2 sockets. What am I doing wrong? I've got Flabby on speed dial. You need the PvP socket item. For crying out loud. Okay, that better be on the same vendor. It's not on the same vendor. This is so hard. You don't need to do this for raid testing. They scale your item level, but you might be a little more juicy if you go to the effort of like getting your enchants and everything. All right, what about, where do I buy raid necks then? Raid necks and rings. The class set tester just has class sets. The trinket guy, maybe he has rings and stuff. He looks like he just has trinkets. His name is Trinkets. This is not my favorite day. Sariki. I don't see those names at all. Oh, there's a ring. There's a ring. We found one. Dealing damage has a chance to give you venomous potential. Well, that's not really what I want. Is there a healing one? We're not going to worry about it. We're just, there we go. There's a neck and there's a ring. So we should be able to socket those at least. We're getting somewhere. Socket. 1. 2. This is so dumb. 1. 2. I know that gearing up and getting gems and stuff in actual WoW is not anything like doing it on beta because you can't just get everything off a vendor. But this is kind of reminding me that setting up a character and doing all of the little fiddly stuff is like my least favorite part of getting ready to raid. That's been one of the really nice things about Remix, has been that you can just literally like walk in, maybe use a couple of, oh, I'm going to need to buy all this stuff, aren't I? Maybe use a couple of, oh, whatchamacallums. Flask of haste. Mastery? Haste. For raid testing, because they're not going to be long fights. We just need to get past the phases to see them and stuff. Yeah, you might use some scrolls in Remix to prep for raid if you're like really tryharding. More within PvP item. You can have 2 sockets on the PvP ring. Okay. So then that setting can go on this ring. There's probably like a special gem that I didn't get that I could have gotten, but at this point I'm too deep. I guess they're right here, aren't they? You can have 1 Algari diamond. Maximum mana? Primary stat and crit. Primary stat and perceived fame and fortune. Excuse me? Cubic blasphemia. Movement speed. Let's just give me maximum mana, I suppose. I don't know. And then maybe another one of these. Am I getting somewhere? Rings. This one's got an empty socket. Alright, 2 sockets, 2 sockets, 2 sockets. Can't be bothered with the helmet and bracers and stuff, right? Good enough? I mean, what am I doing if I'm only getting to good enough? I guess good enough would have been not worrying about any of this. Ooh, enchants. Okay, give me 1, 2. Haste enchants. Enchant boots. Yeah, give me some stamina. It might save me. Authority of Radiant Power. That sounds like a... Oh, no, it's not a healing thing. Damage? Lightning? Mastery. Mastery. Make yourself. Thank you for the 27-month resub. Are they going to let me do this? They are. That's good. Appreciate it, guys. Do I gear up in the Emerald Dream right now? You can. If you want to do current season content, then yes, that's your best way to get catch-up gear easy, or at least it's a way. I'm a little out of touch. When pre-patch comes out, we don't know exactly when that is, but it's not wildly far off because we're like 2 and a bit months away from the actual expansion dropping. There will be catch-up gear available in the pre-patch event, and then also when the expansion comes out, you're going to get brand new gear eventually, like on your way to 80 anyways. So it's up to you as to whether or not it's important to you to be geared going into it. Some people really like to be super strong when they start leveling so they can level quickly, and other people are like, why would I do my gear when I'm literally going to replace it in like an hour? And then they don't worry about it so much, they just kill things a little slower. I'm kind of a Camp 2 sort of player, but Flappy's a Camp 1 sort of player, so. Pre-patch comes out in July, calling it. Picked up fishing as a way to relax from my self-employed job, which reminded me of you. And wow, haven't played for months, wanted to share that. Oh, wonderful. What kind of fishing have you been doing? Freshwater? Saltwater? And like LFR raid level in the past pre-patches? I don't know if we have a specific number. We might, but if we do, I don't know about it. Why is there no Angler Rep or Water Strider recolor? I think there is Angler Rep in Remix. I just didn't do it. Unless they... No, I thought there was Angler Rep. I don't think they did any more Water Striders, though. Okay. All right. We have less time now because I spent 15 minutes doing gems. Thank you for bearing with me. Appreciate it. All right. Welcome to dailies as a 476 BM Hunter. Can't wait. Good stuff. Everything, all of these caches we get for doing all of these daily things are going to be doubled. The spools give you like triple. I don't know how much I'm going to keep up with spool farming, because at a certain point I feel like if I'm good enough to do heroic raids, yeah, I could get a little faster, but like they're getting done at roughly the same pace. But, you know, you get some spools just for doing your dailies. Oh, Floopy's on the Island of Thunder. He started. Okay, maybe I should just get to it. I'll ask. Dailies today? What's your cloak? I have 130,000 threads presently. Did you or Flabby get in touch with Dave? I had already signed up on Dave's server. That was already done before I got that message. It's all taken care of. LFR for more spools myself. Freshwater trout in Maine. We have so many natural fisheries here. Oh. Okay. Let's do some dungeons. These are going to go real fast. This feels loud. Is it loud? It's a little loud. Confused how I have more threads, way less bronze in playtime. Literally didn't farm. I don't know. I feel like I've been pretty good about doing my world bosses most days that I've been playing. Couldn't say. How long are you streaming today? Half stream, hour and a half. Gonna go till roughly 10:30, maybe 10:45 Pacific. Itty bitty baby one. Same thing tomorrow. Make sure I have time to kind of get my life sorted out before raid testing. Living in LFR to try and grind out mogs. Green items are all soulbound, so you need to actually loot them. Can't beg others. Just do raids, sometimes kill a world boss. Have you been playing that character since the beginning of Remix? This is a character I made like a little bit in. This was not my first character. Attempt to get some food? I hope you feel better. Any progress in the Matrix? No. But now when I open the Netflix home screen, it wants me to continue watching it, so it puts up the poster and it's got the people in the cool glasses. So that's neat. They got some good style. Brook trout, my absolute favorite. So pretty. My daily game is flying through the bronze pickups like I'm playing Mario Kart. The cool glasses and the coats. Dragonflight has to be the shortest expansion ever. Is it? I mean, maybe. Let me see. WoW expansion lengths. Because I feel like some of them have been gotten cut short. All WoW expansions by length. Warlords of Draenor was only 656 days, and Cataclysm was 2 days longer at 658. And they were both a little shy of 2 years. Dragonflight release date. Dragonflight came out November of 2022. So we're in 2024. It depends on, and they're going to release, it is going to be the shortest expansion because they're releasing in August. It's only going to be shortest by like a month or so, 2 months. But yeah, it is going to be the shortest one. Not a year and a half. Because November is not the last month of the year, and August is not the middle of the year. About as long as WoD lasted. WoD lasted however long, but actually 12 months less. Dragonflight is the shortest, considering it's the best by a country mile. Dragonflight, I feel like, has had the least content droughts of any of these expansions. Like, Cataclysm was apparently 658 days. It lasted 3 months short of 2 years. But we were in Dragon Soul for, like, what, a year of that? And Dragon Soul as a raid, it had some cool fights, but, like, it felt like the most, okay, put together your homework using yesterday's homework slapped together. I don't feel like there were any new environments. A bunch of the rooms were just pits. It was, I feel like the end of Cataclysm was just absolutely scrambled together. And then we lived there for like a year. Apparently, vanilla lasted 784 days from November 04 to January 07. Whereas, what was the other one you wanted to know? TBC was shorter than that by quite a bit. TBC was the third shortest one so far, only 660 days. It seems like most expansions are roughly in the 2-ish year range. The longest one by far was Battle for Azeroth. BFA, I didn't realize this at the time. BFA was long as hell. It started in August 2018 and it didn't end until August, September, October, November. It was 2 years and 3 months. I guess it's not that crazy, but still. I don't know. Some of those expansions felt like in hindsight that they would have been like 3 years long, but I guess not. How long did Shadowlands feel to you looking back? About 2 years. Split into pre and post pulling the ripcord. Dragonflight pretty meh. Never felt invested in anything. Always having new content. Never really enjoyed that content that much. I started to feel towards the end of Dragonflight less invested in the new content releases. Maybe just because I was so spoiled for content releases. But by the time we got to like the Dream Surges patch and then the Archivist, it's not Archivist Codex, Azerothian Archives patch. They just kind of felt whatever. Those two events, I think that if you had given them to me like in the middle of a content drought, I would have been like, oh, neat, something new to do. But because I wasn't, like, I already had stuff going on, and it hadn't been that long since other stuff had come out, it didn't feel as, it just kind of felt a little bit like, you know, you're in the middle of eating a restaurant meal and they come out and they're like, would you like an appetizer? And you're like, I'm halfway through my burger. You know, it's not that the shrimp rings aren't good. Shrimp rings? It's not that the food isn't good. You're just, you know, you were eating already. Enjoyed Dragonflight for what it was. Felt more relaxed and less lacking world-ending consequences. Shrimp rings. It's when the shrimp are really stressed and or doing yoga before you deep fry them. I'm meant to be doing something in this scenario. Here's a cannon. They'll let me on this soon. Can we get you shrimp rings for lunch? No. Virtual job fair went swimmingly. Hope everyone's having a great day. Oh, nice! Actually, shrimp rings are a thing. It's just when you get the big plastic tray that is a big ring of like cocktail shrimp that people get around Christmas time for some reason. That's what a shrimp ring is. I was just thinking of onion rings and then thinking of shrimp. Or calamari, I guess. Go, Huey, go. Yeah, I want a blooming onion. Thanks a lot. A blooming onion. I've never had a blooming onion, and I'm pretty sure that I would really enjoy the beginning of it and then not enjoy it by the end of it, were I to order such a thing. But I like saying it a lot. It's a fun thing to say. Remember ordering calamari from Red Lobster? I was half expecting you made that up, but shrimp rings are a thing. My grandmother used to get them around Christmas time. It's basically just like cold cooked shrimp that you dip in like a marinara sauce or something. I don't know. There's some kind of tomato-based cocktail dipping sauce. And they're delicious until you get one that wasn't fully deveined, and then you never eat them again for the rest of your life, and that's basically where I'm at. I had one that wasn't fully deveined, and I was young enough that that really upset me, and I have not let it go. They taste amazing, but you feel gross after eating it. It's big, you need to share. Cocktail sauce is ketchup and horseradish. What do horseradishes look like when they're still plants? Horses? Radishes? Something else altogether? I know that a lot of commercially available cheap, air quotes, wasabi it's derived from horseradish rather than being true wasabi. I also know it's delicious. Like a ginger root. More towards the radish. Looks more like a radish than a horse. I should probably loot this so I can get my stuff. It's so weird not needing to use this bronze I'm grinding to upgrade my gear. I'm all done. It feels strange. I'm kind of itchy. I am sitting on 8k bronze, which isn't that much. Here, we'll open that. Ho ho ho, those doubled caches feel good. Also, did we call it, or I mean, I guess everybody called it. It was pretty clear that they were getting above bronze at some point, but did we call it or what? Oh, feels good. How much do you need now? Oh, I'm sure hundreds of thousands. I don't think I'm anywhere close to being done. I'm currently saving for tusks, is where I'm at. I want to buy tusks just to have bought tusks, and then maybe I'll start saving for the Garrosh heirlooms, and hopefully I'll be doing siege enough during all of that bronze farming to get the rest of the toenails that I need for all of it. Because I'm sitting on 26 toenails, and I need 38 of them. I have not killed Mythic Garrosh yet. I'll do it before Remix is over. One day, you know? Not a huge fan of them saying we are not buffing the rate just to buff the rate. No stakes in this. I feel like what they said is that we aren't nerfing the upgrade cost. And the effect is exactly the same thing. But I remember talking about this when they did that, and I'm like, just because they won't nerf the upgrade cost, they're kind of leaving themselves a loophole where they could buff the gain rate. Yeah. I think this was kind of the plan from the beginning. So they could be technically correct, which is the worst kind of correct. But I may be missing something. They say a lot of stuff. So it's entirely possible they actually said that. I need to queue for one of these, and I need to queue for one of these. Thought it'd be later in the event, like Plunderstorm. That was also kind of what I was thinking. I'm glad it's earlier while I'm still playing it, while I'm not crazy busy yet, because if and when we get... what do I mean if? When we eventually, we don't know when, but when we eventually get pre-patch on retail, I feel like that's going to keep me busy. I'm going to want to get my retail characters like set up for the War Within. I don't know what that means, but like at least do a bank clean out or something. I'm going to want to do some pre-patch event. I'm sure there's going to be some stuff to collect. I'll want to do that. And I'd like to be done with Remix by then. But I don't know when that is. Would it be better to get the heirlooms first in case there's a disaster and you stop being able to play? Nah. If my house was hit by a meteor, I guess my apartment building, and I couldn't play for like, assuming I survived, a couple months, I don't think I would be like, oh man, I wish I'd bought those heirlooms first. Like, I don't actually, this is going to sound kind of callous. I don't actually care about any of it. It's just something to do. I care about it insofar as it's something to do. And as far as something to do, I'm happy to get tusks first. But if I'm being completely patently honest, none of this is actually important. The main thing that I really wanted was the chicken backpack. And that's already filling my wildlist dreams. Everything else is kind of gravy. They still cost more than every heirloom combined. Overly specific denial is also a term for it. Yeah, the people writing the posts are I mean, sometimes you do get devs writing posts and articles. They'll do blog posts sometimes. But when you get a blue post, they are like that's something that they'll go ask somebody and then they'll get an answer. People will sign off on it and then they'll post the answer kind of thing. I'm guessing, as far as I know. Someone with over 1,000 kills a Shaw felt bad and good to buy them out. That is too many attempts. It's a lot. Alrighty. Yeah, cloaks are going to start getting boosted. I think that with people that are playing now getting powerful this quickly, there's going to be more like overpowered groups doing things like heroic siege and eventually mythic siege, because it'll be just easier to get a character up to that point. Bronze cost of the mount's very weird. Why is the Astral Serpent only 17k? Why is Juggernaut 38? Recolors are 4. The recolor's brand new, I think, which is why it's not expensive. They've saved expensive mounts for the ones that you could have had before, but that were like rare drops and difficult to farm, because if they just put them on the vendor for 2k, it would have been a little... I mean, it's all arbitrary made up, but like it would have been a little rude to people that farmed it already if they didn't at least save a big amount of bronze for it. My reasoning for why some of them are more expensive than others is the ones that were harder to farm. And in my opinion, Juggernaut is listed as harder to farm just because Siege is a long raid. And yes, you can skip to the end now, but for a long time that was not the case. And Elegon was just a shorter boss to get to because MSV is not that long. Maybe it was a different drop rate too. I don't know. I couldn't speak to that. But that's my opinion for why. Like the Warbringer mounts are more expensive than the vendor mounts, like the new ones, because they were farmable before, but they weren't as hard to farm as like a Heavenly Onyx Cloud Serpent, so they don't cost nearly as much. That is my guess. Lonnie's mount is 38k. Costs 38k to buy a mount. You can buy in the auction house for like 5k. I feel like Alani's words. Mount price. That is a little weird, actually. I agree with you there. I think that the market price ends up being kind of wonky because people can sell it to each other, which is not something you can do with the rest of them. Find things I think are pretty. Got a Jade Dino for cheap, and he's so pretty. That's really sweet. What's your favorite new mount? I know people like the Red Riding Goat. I like the, there's some really lovely colors of... There's some lovely colors of cranes. I feel like it was the silver one, maybe? Or the tropical one? I know the pink ones are cute because they're pink. It might have been this one. Or this one. These are gorgeous. I've always liked the crane mounts. I was happy to get more of them. And they're in, like, beautiful colors. Purple Tiger, August Phoenix, not even close. It was nice that the August Phoenix at least was an easy one to get. Didn't take too much remix playing to get to level 20 the first time. Did I just hear Red Riding Goat? Yeah, and it's little too. It's little. It's like a small mount. It is dramatically smaller. Oh, it is Little Red Riding Goat. Pardon me. It is dramatically smaller than other mounts. On gnomes, it almost looks reasonable, but if you get onto the Red Riding Goat on like a not gnome, their feet will be just like dragging and clipping through the ground. It's pretty funny. Add-on for cosmetics and loot. I have a few add-ons that touch on that. There will be links to everything in my spreadsheet. You might be looking for all of the things. You might be looking for can I Mog it? You might be looking for Trove Tally. There's also a week aura. That tracks like how you're doing on completion. I can see I need 489k bronze left to buy the rest of the stuff. Flippy should be a gnome DH if only. I was looking back on that Galleon clip from the other week where it wouldn't spawn for the longest time. And I really must have ruined it by... I think I took like some cues, like maybe I did a scenario or something, and then I missed it. Because I was sitting around waiting for Galleon to spawn for like past 30 minutes. I must have missed it. And then I like joined a waiting group, and I probably did that like right before it was about to spawn on my own shard. And then I was waiting in the waiting group for like ages. I've never waited that long for a world boss in my entire life. Do you sometimes think, man, I have a lot of add-ons devoted to this one topic? Only when it comes up in conversation. I think that if I wasn't a streamer, it wouldn't cross my mind. Miss Mogget, but they haven't updated in a year. Had that same experience yesterday. Rare mob timers still seem way too long. Then entire patrols of zones for hours killed a single one. People can also explode them now. Like if you're just talking random rares, anybody that sees it can just swoop down and kill it basically instantly. It's not like when this first came out where you would come across somebody that was actively fighting it and then you could land and tag it and pitch in. People have so much power now that you can kill a rare like almost instantly. So if there are people around and they're using an add-on like Rare Scanner, they're gonna blow up pretty quick. Same thing to some extent with world bosses. People can kill world bosses very quickly now. You can run Heroic and Normal Siege of Orgrimmar in the same day. That is the only raid with separate lockouts. For the rest of the raids in Remix, you must choose one. You cannot do both. Rares drop spools? I don't know. I don't remember. For my TOT run last night, accidentally bugged the council fight. Tried to wipe and restart it. I had that happen in an LFR once. We had to hearth out. Watched your stream. Thought your presentation on your slow-moving pet murdering killer snail was fantastic. Oh, I thank you. Can do Trove of the Thunder King for spools. That's probably like juicy now because the spools are all worth triple. That was yesterday, wasn't it? Maybe I'll look for a clip on that. I don't know how I'm going to get a news video out this week with all the retesting. I have like some notes already because it's basically we just need to make sure we talk about like the release date and stuff. Wow. Yesterday was the 12th. And we were at Galleon. I remember that much. Yeah, retesting starts at 11. Gastropod. Did you think the bronze drop was too low before? Kind of just started playing Remix, don't have much context. I was kind of okay with it, but I am, it takes a lot to upset me. A lot of people thought it was not enough for the upgrade costs. I guess I can't tell you how many people because I haven't asked them. I thought it was fine though. I was getting my gear upgraded. I could upgrade roughly every piece of gear once per day if I did my like hour and a half of dailies. More if I did like lots of raid clears. And that felt like a reasonable rate of progression. And then if I had been doing that and not upgrading my gear, I would have been able to buy like a handful of sets or get like, I don't know, halfway towards one of the expensive pieces in a day. And that felt reasonable, but now it's even faster. How many bosses? My calendar says 2, but I don't trust myself, so I'm gonna double check. Raid testing schedule. Yep, 2 bosses. We're doing Ulgrax and the Bloodbound Horror today. And then tomorrow is 3 bosses. Tomorrow is Sikron, Rashanon, and Blood Twister Ovanax. Fun. And then we get 2 more bosses on Thursday 2 weeks following, and then there will be a normal raid clear. Bronze drop seemed reasonable before, so now this is just a nice bonus. I did feel like before they added the caches that bronze farming was bad. Like in V1 on launch day Pandaria Remix, there was not enough bronze. And there also weren't really enough threads at the time. But when they added in these like greater caches from doing like that stuff I think was added in the hotfix was the caches and spools. Spools for sure. I guess I'm a little fuzzy on the caches. Scarlet Monastery. Off and away. It's fun being 476. I guess I shouldn't hit things with any abilities that need my pets to hit them because my pets just aren't going to catch up. This is such a fast dungeon to get because you can really just sprint here. I think there is something special you need to do to not ruin the last one. Because you can bug this one, so I'm just going to let Flabby do it because he knows what he's doing. I'll kill trash. Do you know what time Mythic Plus testing is? Not offhand. Do you like max speed gems? No. You go fast enough without them. Especially, like, I like the double Trailblazer that I have, and that makes me quite fast enough. It'll do. How many speed gems do you have? In my bags, 2 legendary speed gems. I don't know why I keep making them legendary. But my movement speed, I am running at 227%. I'm getting 43% from speed. I think it caps at 49. I don't think that I'm going to get that much more speed from gems. And if anything, the threads, like my cloak threads, are going to do it. Twice? Missed it? What? Galleon dead. Oh, that's okay. Imagine if you were a feral druid. Tidbit about the Treasure King. Thanks, about to go do that right now. I don't know if anybody's ever called... Aw, rip. I don't know if anyone's ever called me king before. Alright, you know what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep an eye out for groups, and I'm going to maybe turn in a couple of dailies over here while I keep an eye out for groups. Oh, I was going to turn in my dailies so I could upgrade my gear. That's why I've been like trying to turn in quests and open caches ASAP as I've been doing stuff, because I was like, man, I should get my gear as upgraded as I can before I get to this next raid or whatever it is that I'm going to do. But my gear is as upgraded as it's going to be. It's not getting any better than this. This is it. Okay, well, we've done our daily queues. I think, also, don't mind me. I vote we, with 50 minutes remaining, try and get right into a raid clear. I feel like Throne of Thunder is faster bronze, but Siege gives toenails, and I'm gonna need more of those before the remix is over. Who is Floby? Floby is Flabby. Flabby is Floby. Shadow Priest. I never know if I should PI a 476 or someone with lower item level because of diminishing returns. The 476 is probably haste capped, especially like during cooldowns and Lifestorm and stuff. A lot of people are gonna be. I would follow your heart. Guess, basically. Well, I guess I can head over, huh? The name game song, yeah. I appreciate the effort that it took to actually type out Flooby Booby, Flooby Bo Booty. Flooby Booby. You are not old. It's okay. We're all walking this earth at the same time. All right. Group invite. Let's see what we got. Heroic Siege. Fresh. Looking for quick siege 400 plus? Maybe? We'll try it. Depending on if there's more. Well, this is just gonna be a little bit of a luck. If Flabby and I are the only two 476s, this might be a little bit spicy, but we'll make it through. It'll be all right. Love your YouTube videos. Thanks for making them. Thanks for watching them. You can now get the Tusk's appearance on a non-plate wearer tune. It was bugged for a while, but they've fixed it now. Word on the street. We all walk the same earth sounds like some wise Tauren sage stuff. It's not exactly what I meant to say. I'm not smart enough to say whatever was cooking in there. No words. Oh, weather was nice. I spent some time out on my balcony this morning because I wanted to just like absorb some sunlight like a flower and sniff the sweet peas that I planted that I haven't staked up very far. Next time I do sweet peas, I swear I'm just gonna buy and or craft a trellis ahead of time. I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, I'm gonna get these bamboo stakes and I'm gonna weave twine to make a trellis. That's not a problem. The problem was I was gonna add layers to it as the plant grew, as though I was gonna keep up with that. Of course I'm not gonna keep up with that. That plant's lucky when I water it.
Run away.
Alright, well there's at least one other carry. I'm not even on the list right now. I didn't live storm yet. I'll do the second run. Having 3 of my legendary spells hit stam today feels interesting. 3k stam instantly. I used to get disappointed by stam until I realized that not only was it helping me survive, it is a variable for your slay damage. Because that will hit for your health total. So if it's a fight where you can get slay off. Alright, this should be a nice fast siege run. Running those raids every day, great for bronze. It's only in the last couple of days that I finally felt strong enough and like I had enough patience and motivation to run like all of the raids in heroic every day. For the longest time I would do like one raid and be like, all right, I did my raid daily. Go me. Oh, I did it. Ooh. Stay. Pride's gaze. Reminding me, I am in Siege of Orgrimmar. I'm in Heroic Siege of Orgrimmar. Normal, LFR, Mythic. Is there no Heroic Siege of Orgrimmar appearances? Do they share with like one of the other ones? Do they share with Normal or something? No Mogs in Heroic Org. Oh, bummer. The one difficulty of Org that I do most days, and there's no Mogs from it. Blast. Alright, this time we can actually use some buttons here. We did it! I always get nervous that it's gonna break. Check service spec might be different or marksman. But why would it be different if there's no Mogs in Heroic Org? The thing shows you Mogs that you have and don't have. Fun way to get it for me anyway. But I'm also not having my best brain day, so I might be just missing something patently obvious. I like Siege of Orgrimmar when it goes like this fast. When it's like... When my Lifestorm comes off cooldown within the same boss fight and it feels like an actual raid night, that's when I'm having less fun. You can learn other class ensembles. I bought all of them on one character. I like leveled an alt and used that bronze to like buy all the class ensembles. It was great. Oh man, it's so much bronze now. Raids are so good. I almost wonder if one of the reasons that they buffed bronze from caches specifically is because that kind of boosts up the bronze value of raid clearing compared to the bronze value of doing the alt power level thing. Like instead of nerfing the speed or the bronze that you get from doing like the 2-hour alt power level, instead, if you can just get twice as much bronze from clearing a heroic raid, and you can do it pretty quickly because it's easier to get more powerful, that kind of bumps it up in the scheme of things. Find them all in WoW Hits, see which ones I want. I even bought them for classes that I'm like never gonna play. I just got all of them. Because those are totally Remix exclusive. Those aren't available anywhere else. They're recolors of Trading Post sets, but they're not only expensive on the Trading Post, but the Trading Post ones aren't exactly the same. They are different colors. Hi, Hazel. Hello. Are you gonna do the Corruption Clear bug? I don't know what that is. I'm also not running the group, so I couldn't say. I logged on to Shellfish, my first Remix character recently, and he's had him level like 280. I forgot that. I mean, I basically didn't upgrade any gear on him. Not basically, genuinely. Like, I did not upgrade any gear on him. I think he maybe got to 346 in his other slots. Plus, I don't even think he's wearing all of the jewelry. I think he has empty jewelry slots that he just never filled. Rip Shellfish. At least I'll have like a cool Darkspear Troll Priest all, you know, in the War Within. I bet he'll be fun like later on. Yeah, I don't think anyone's really worried about the corruption bar. I think the boss is going to be okay. This is just heroic. It's not mythic or anything. Dead boss. No bug required. I can't believe you get 1,500 bronze per boss, and there's like so many bosses in here. I'm not doing the math, but I might be able to buy tusks today. Kitty? Bless you. She's sneezing. Kitty and Moose did something real cute yesterday. Was bronze buffed? They doubled bronze from caches, and they tripled threads from spools just last night. Normal raids also give caches, but they won't be quite as big, but they're still doubled from what they used to be. Should be 1,000 bronze per boss for a normal boss, and then a 1,500 for a heroic boss. Something like that. Yeah. Yeah, pretty good. It's a good time to be cranking out your remix skulls for sure. Is this where we're gonna do it? Okie dokie. Are you bad at PvP? Depends on the scale. If you stuck me in the AWC, I would be having my worst nightmare, so yes. If you put me in a tournament with a bunch of random people that you, like, grabbed out of a Walmart, then I'm gonna be great. Really depends on the room. You always doing PvE? Was wondering. Yeah. That's the metric for that's the metric. You must be doing this one thing because you're awful at everything else. Sharing the cute moose and Kira story. Oh, so we were watching a show or something, and I realized that Kitty Cat's at the gate, at the down the hall, and she's just kind of like standing there, maybe wanting to be let in, kind of hard to say. And you hear Moose like get up and like kind of walk over because like his nails click on the floor. And at first I was gonna like go over there and just like mediate, but then I'm like, listen, there is a gate there anyways. Let's just see what they do. And he just kind of walks up very nicely to the gate, and then he like sniffs, and then she sniffs, so they're like sniffing noses through the gate. And then he like stretches, and then he just lays down in front of the gate and just like watches her like, can she come in? Hello, I love you. He's so sweet. And he didn't, I don't know if he knew that anybody was watching him either, so I'm taking that as a good sign. And she didn't hiss at him, and she didn't run away, which is the main thing. I feel like their relationship right now is very much going at her pace because she's smaller and older and blind. Hi. So it's all got to be to her comfort level. Who's such a good-natured pup. He's a real sweetie pie. I was reading some dog forums about different things and stories and whatever, and I've been reminded that I do want to keep like every day with a dog is like training the dog, you know? Like I always have treats and we'll do commands and stuff. But I've gotten kind of complacent and only really using them when I need them, and not necessarily doing just like drilling them for fun or for, you know, doing tricks and stuff like that. And I'm back on my training grind because it's occurred to me that he'll continue to get more reliable the more that we do it. He knows a lot of stuff, and he's really good at doing it in low distraction environments, but I need to reinforce that more and then slowly move him up through the ranks of distracting environments, because if you put like a super fun dog in front of him, you don't exist to him right now. And that's not his fault, and it's not like he has to be that way forever. I just need to keep working with him. And I think I just needed to read some more anecdotes and stories about people training dogs to be reminded that just because he's a year old doesn't mean he's done. And doesn't mean he's doomed to always be like hyper when it comes to things that are fun for him. Took me a while to realize the difference between the Alliance and Horde sides in Siege. Play almost all Horde, never saw an Alliance side before Remix. Hi, sweetie. But for your part, you don't seem all that scared of the dog anymore, which is nice. She'll come right up to him and she'll sniff him and she'll like leave, but like not in a hurry. She'll just be like, ew. No thank you. Used to the moose stench. It's just so sweet to see how gentle he is with her, because it's really hard for him because all he wants in his life are friends that he can play with rambunctiously. He's a boisterous boy. He's a very high energy, excited, driven, you know, all gas, no brakes kind of dog at this point in his life. So I know how hard it is for him to see something that he wants to play with and to just lay down and not do it. Chris Go, thank you for the 2-month resub. Wanted to shout out you and your content. Makes it easy to stay engaged with the game. Appreciate the wholesome vibes. Keep doing what you're doing because it really matters to a lot of people. Kitty, aw, that's so sweet.
4, 3,
thank you.
2, 1.
Yeah, she's a sweetie pie. This is Kira. Yeah, I'm just gonna hang out right here. I'm gonna say hi. It's just Galacrest. You can have Big Kim. You got a speech? Watch your face. Two middle-aged dogs, one 4-year-old. When they're all playing inside, gets pretty rowdy. They tend to play floors, lava, jump from couches to chairs. Do you have an opinion on the term midcore? Do you think it applies to you? I think technically it applies to me. Vibes-wise, I don't like it because I associate the word mid with people being like, I don't know, gross online, I guess. It's just kind of migrated in my brain from its original meaning. So it just feels insulting even if it's actually accurate. It's not like I'm trying to say that I should be a super hardcore player. It's not my favorite word. Warrior, my siege has 520k stamina threads. Holy moly. Nice, sweet. Thanks, kitty cat. I don't know if I'm going to grow out my hair. I decide every day. I would say that if it's important to you that I do, that you are probably going to be disappointed. Oh. And that I kind of wish it wasn't a thing that people felt a need to talk about. I know that I bring it on myself by changing it all the time and whatever, but like, come on. Ever look into being a VTuber? No. Unrelated to Rowdy Dogs, got a Cabela's card. Can't wait to buy a new fishing pole. Ooh, fun. Do you like the lightweight rods? Super sensitive? You want the heavy duty? Pull out the big fish? I got a new ocean rod that was longer. I got like a salmon fishing rod. We weren't gonna, but one of the old ocean rods got like severely jammed and also bent on a big fish recently. So I'm now the proud owner of a rod that is very, very tall and difficult to fit in my car even when it's broken down. Human aggro noise is still a big nostalgia trigger for me. Kill and Defy is back in Elwyn Forest. Dungeon to raid that once you got everything in it, you sighed the deepest sigh of relief not having to run it again. I was pretty happy when I got the mount that I wanted out of Legion Karazhan. We were farming Midnight, the horse in there, for a long time. You have a place where you post fishing content. I have a couple of videos that are on my paywalled YouTube member. I've got like a little Hazel's Home Videos section, and it's like Patreon but on YouTube. So my $10 a month members get one of those every month, as well as like the back catalog. And there's a couple of fishing ones in there, but they're short and they're not like hyper edited or anything because it's supposed to be just like, you know, Hazel's Home Videos. A pair of waders come up to my chest, which makes fishing in the middle of bricks and streams so fun. Oh, that sounds great. Fell down, so I became a water balloon. No! Like the bass video and then the rockfish video. I don't remember which one it was, but I like the one with the best crab. There was one of the times that I went fishing and I took a video for a Hazel's Home video, and I was just hanging out by a tide pool, like watching and then later filming this one crab that was just hanging out in the tide pool. It was a pretty big crab, and it was so fascinating because it was just kind of like, it had a pile of stuff and it was going through the stuff, and it would be like do 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 do. Okay, this one looks good. Num 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 num. Do 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 do. This one, num, no, blah, and it would like chuck it over its little crab shoulder. And I was just watching it for I don't know how long. It was before I got a dog, so we were there for a long time. And I was just in love. So I designated that to be the best crab. I just like watching animals doing stuff. It's not like a unique thing, but it's fun, man.
Phase 2.
Yellow grass. Glad your hair's alive. Glad to have you here, Luca. I had kind of a bad brain day yesterday afternoon and evening. Sometimes you're doing good, and sometimes you just fall off a cliff, and then you're like, well, I'm cranky, and I'm not going to feel better. At least not until I get a good night's sleep. But good news is it doesn't usually stick around. I have a thing that my partner and I will do that I'm still deciding if it's a good idea or not, because on paper it's real cute, but when you're actually in a terrible mood, it's like hit or miss. But where you can indicate that you're feeling crabby by doing pinchy crab claws, you know? And It was cute when we first came up with it, but now I think I look a little bit menacing. But it's basically just code for it's not you, it's me. I'm already in a bad mood. Not that that excuses me to be rude or mean or anything like that. I will do my best, but like, you know, sometimes it's nice to have a little heads up. Juggernaut. This should be good. There we go. There's my life storm. For a brief moment, we touched 13 mil. And I think that's as good as it's going to get unless I really get a lot of threads. But everybody else is going to be getting threads at the same rate as me, so I don't think I'm really ever going to be above like a 4th place gamer in these groups. But that's okay. We're on the board at least. And the boss dies fast, and that's the important thing. I'm going to Victoria to visit my sister. If I see her at a grocery store, can I say hello or run in the other direction? In a grocery store, I would say you can say hi, but I will panic. I will be really, really surprised. I hope you have a lovely visit. I hope you get good weather and stuff. Do you have you been before? And if so, are there things that you like to do in town? This is heroic. So worried. Got word back, received a 98% on the exam. Is that a good thing? I want to congratulate you, but I want to make sure that I'm not congratulating you on having like a 98% failing kidney, because that is not great. We're hoping for a 98% functioning kidney. Are we going in? I think we're going inside. This is nice and fast. I might have time for like some of the shorter heroic raids. Actually, no, that's not true because raid testing starts in less than an hour. So I'm going to finish this raid and then see what time it is. Make sure I'm ready. It is a good thing. Okay. Okay. I understand now. I'm so sorry. I was so confused. I'm having a moment. I was like, how can your kidneys answer questions? Okay, it's like a med school thing. Congratulations. That's a great score. Not too much. Stay at sister's house, go for walks, see nieces and nephews. Aw, that sounds wonderful. There's lots of great walks around. Very smart kidneys. I'm glad you did well in your test, and I'm also glad your kidneys are okay. Yeah, I think that was just a me thing. I think other people do exactly what you were talking about. Gonna go lay down. I hope you feel better soon, Saga. Happy raid testing. Thank you. Hoping everything goes smoothly. Kind of selfishly hoping that the fights are already in good shape and they don't change too many things before they go live so we can use lots of the footage we're gonna get today and tomorrow. How do we know they didn't copy off of one another? The kidneys. Can't be right. Can it? No, it's not right. Okay. I was thinking, how is that where you're only 369 item level? Oh, they're doing the thing they took. Okay. That's one of the reasons that this warrior is doing so much damage. I didn't realize that still worked. They've taken off their gem slots, their jewelry slots, to force their item level down because for whatever reason that's favorable for your scaling and you benefit more from the scaling than you do from having those sockets equipped, especially when your cloak is providing so many secondaries anyways. At a certain point, it's genuinely apparently better for you still to take all your gear off, or not all your gear, but like your rings, trinkets, and neck piece. Thought they fixed that. I remember hearing about it happening. I don't remember hearing about a fix, but I stopped hearing about it being a thing, so I just assumed they fixed it, but maybe they didn't. They're certainly doing plenty of damage. I'll have to look at their cloak and see. I guess the other thing I could do is I could literally take off mine. I mean, my cloak's not that strong, so it's going to be a little bit different. Their cloak is giving them like 20k main stat. So they have quite a strong one. Mine's only giving me 13k. Just for fun. I'll try it. I'll bite. I'm level 369. See if I can do any better than like my 10 mil on single target. Without those, did I like ruin? No, I still have decent amounts of secondaries. You would also, doing that, you would probably look into making sure you have the right gems in your various pieces. Like your chest and your legs are the only ones left that have your secondaries in them. So you want to have your best secondaries in those anyways, because they'll scale higher because their item level goes up. How many tusks do you get from heroic? 4. 4 per heroic clear. 1-ish per normal clear. I've always gotten 1. And then you get like, what, 10 for doing it on mythic if you do it on mythic? But I haven't done mythic. I'm gonna be able to buy tusks today though. I have enough runs already. That's so exciting. Also heard mythic gives no more bronze than heroic. I do not know. Have not done. Done all of them a lot. It's always those numbers. Okay. Would you get more bronze at least the first time for doing like the achievement? I'm assuming there's an achievement for doing Remix Mythic Siege. Sometimes those give you caches. Okay, so basically I'm going to be checking to see here if I can do better than like 10, 11 mil DPS by virtue of having unequipped my stuff. It's going to be kind of a guessing game too, because it looks like we're going to have a better stack than we did for like other bosses, but we'll see. Could kind of compare it against them. Kind of compare it against the Scorpion. Okay, looks like for me at least at my ring levels or at my gem cloak level, not necessarily better unless that bump up prevented me from prevented like my Lightstorm from hitting or something. I might have been. My Searing Light still did damage. I don't know. I'm gonna put my stuff back on. I'm not going to try to get too fancy for my own good. Oh, oh, right. It goes by bag item level. I forgot. You can put it in your bank. You can put it in your bank. You don't have to delete it. Although if you did delete it, you could just get it back out the vendor for 10 jewelry a piece. I guess I could delete it now. I don't want. I'm scared. Or am I? Because you don't. It's not like you have to catch them up, and you get the gems back. Oh, you have to delete them. That's gross. Oh, I can't be bothered. I keep changing my mind. I'll ask Flabby to mess around with it at some point. Not today. It's a busy day today. Remember to take the gems out. I don't even have the gem D-socket thing on my bar anymore because I've gotten so used to just scrapping a piece to get the gems back. But this is fine. It's not like we're going to get the raid done any faster if I manage to do that. Feel like playing my remix main for a bit of threads farming, even though I pretty much already got everything. I mean, the threads are coming. The threads from spools are tripled now. That's fun just to see the number go up. And then you could like go show off in a mythic raid or something. Although if you've literally bought everything, then it's kind of a little bit of like, why? Click the gems in the socket interface to unsocket them. That is a good tip. I'm done with it though. I don't want to mess with it anymore. It's been too much of a roller coaster. I want to just leave it alone. I've been trying to teach my dog a command to make him shake,
5, 4,
to help him like shake off extra tension and stuff.
2,
By every time he does it naturally, I say, and then I like give him a treat if I can. Sometimes it works and it's really cute. I have yet to get to the point where I just make that sound anyway, because I do make that sound anyway. That's like my version of shaking off tension. They teach you to do that as a brass player, lots of lip trills, and it's not like a tick, but like a nervous reflex, I guess. One day I'm gonna be doing that. My dog's just gonna start shaking. I'm gonna be like, "Oh, sorry, bud, didn't mean to."
Dispel boss. Dispel boss.
There's also like a secret button on the dog, I swear. If you're making the sound and you know he's got like extra energy to shake off and you want him to shake, and you scratch a specific part of the back of his neck, he'll do it like 9 times out of 10. It's like pressing a reset button. Does your computer chair have armrests? Yes, it does. They go up and down, and I typically keep them pretty low so that they can fit under my desk, because I often like to scoot my chair in like all the way under my desk so I can like lean against the backrest but have my forearms on my desktop. This is a Herman Miller embody chair. Dog's a robot. What old tier set would you want them to redo? Really want either 2 or tier 5? Like visually?
Watch your feet.
I don't know, because I could just mog them. I could just mog the old set onto the new set. Unless we're meaning set bonuses, in which case I forget them the moment that they're not on my gear anymore. The only old set bonus that I vaguely remember is there was some business, and I don't even know if it was for sure the set. It could have just been the spec. There was some business in Blackrock Foundry of Warlords of Draenor, and I was playing a Shadow Priest, and you just got a bunch of crit, and you made so many shadowy apparitions, and it was so fun. I remember doing the boss where you carry the bombs to the furnace. Oh, so good. So fun. Question for gold making. Warlock, JC Elk. Druid is a gatherer, hoping the world within will have flying. Will they be a huge impact for gold making? I couldn't tell you. There will be flying, but if you want to unlock regular flying and not like the sky riding, dragon riding kind of flying, you'll need to do the Pathfinder achievement first. Visually. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like if there's an old set that I really like, I feel like I would just mog that set. Like, I don't know what I would want them to really update, unless it was, I guess, like a super old one. Maybe like the cloth AQ gear. There's like a priest AQ cloth set that I kind of like, but it's like very, very dated looking. Pushback about the Pathfinder thing is massive. I think it's stupid. I think it's ridiculous that they make you unlock the ability to fly boringly. Like, people that want to regular fly instead of dragon riding, it's almost always an accessibility issue. So why are you gatekeeping it behind an achievement? Like, it doesn't make any sense. In Dragonflight, you could maybe make the argument that they had like these achievements and these things that were really high up, so you were supposed to have to like manage your vigor, although practically you could literally just like stick yourself on the side of a mountain and find a little rock to step on until your vigor came back. But there was supposed to be some difficulty about getting to the highest places because it was like vigor based. It didn't really work out that way, but that was kind of the ethos. But it's not, it doesn't matter anymore. Just let people fly normally. I don't really understand that. It doesn't affect me too much because I'm probably going to get the achievement and I'm happy to be skywriting, but it just seems like a head scratcher of a decision. 2,500 bronze for that? But you'll be able to dragon ride from day one at least. Can I mog it? Is the add-on showing little check marks to let you know if you have an item or not? Regular flying at 60%, Pathfind to 100. Yeah, maybe, but I don't know. I feel like that would make people mad too. I feel like you should just let it be a toggle and not worry about the achievement. If you want to have something for the achievement, I don't know, give it like a transmog set. Give it like a griffin riding skin or something. Mount customization, I don't know. A little cute tabard or something. Mythic Plus listed dungeons bring in Bat Siege of Borealis. Do they know that was not a beloved dungeon? Give people $100 and then we'll complain how it is folded. You know what they could put behind the Pathfinder achievement if they really wanted to keep the Pathfinder achievement but still give us like free flying? You know, it would make people... Actually, I can't speak to how people would feel because you're right. People will complain about anything. You know what I would want? Flight whistle. Just give us both versions of flying from the get-go. And then if you do the Pathfinder achievement, give us a flight whistle that ports us to a flight path. It won't be game-breaking. It's a flight path. It's not faster than dragon riding or even normal flying anywhere. But, man, we were even like unlocking cosmetic versions of those. I really thought that was something that we were keeping. And I don't understand why we're not. They were handy. I liked them a lot. I used to use them. I'm the kind of person that wants to just like get somewhere while I'm doing my dishes or something. You know, they were great for that. So useful in Argus. Miss those two, like a second Hearthstone sometimes. So these greater bronze caches have 2,500 each. Same, actually. I have been getting a lot more blues than epics. I remember my gnome got like a little gnome airplane version of it. I think it might have been for doing gnome heritage. It was so cute. It was so cute. And then I couldn't use it anymore. T-minus 10 minutes? Yeah, pretty much. Like getting my special flight whistle for being a gnome. Yeah. Listen, we don't get so many gimmies for being gnomes. We're not swimming in customization options. We're not usually center of attention. Our city is still hopelessly irradiated. Let us have our cute little airplane. BFA flight path with torture. Hope the war within isn't as bad as BFA. What was wrong with BFA flight paths? You know, it was awful with Shadowlands flight paths when you had to use them to get between zones if you didn't want to burn a Hearthstone cooldown. Or no, even if you burn the Hearthstone cooldown, you still had to flight path yourself back. Like, they just wouldn't give us portals to the different zones. You know, get your +5 to engineering and you will like it. I'm genuinely of the opinion that Escape Artist is a sick racial. I use it all the time. It was so fun in... Well, first of all, Entangling. Second of all, in... Fire Laser Chicken. What was his name? Big Owl flew through the sky. Tindril Sage Swift. On Tindril Sage Swift, you could get yourself out of every other routes for free. So if I wanted to like pre-move to the stack point for the to Mastis spell those big like fire rings or whatever, I could totally do that. And if I got rooted, I would just be like, psych. Sandali glider racial saved me so many times. Question: who didn't want us to have a quick teleport to at least our covenants? The thing that made it extra mean was on beta or alpha at some point in development, those big portal looking things at the top of Oribos were actual portals. And at some point they were like, you know, it would be cool as if you had to get on a super slow worm and then fly through it and then through a motion sickness inducing wormhole and then you can get to where you're going. And that's how we live for all of Shadowlands. Proton Stir, thank you for the brand new sub. Appreciate it. I used to just tab out or like leave on that flight path because the little wormhole graphic was just no good. No good for me. I know I'm not the only one. Healer Priest actually race changed to Gnome from Mythic Tendril Prog. Get out, really? That's excellent. Remember when everybody went Goblin for Painsmith? Was it his actual name, or did we like nickname him that? I think it might have been Painsmith. The little square platform. Big angry orc looking dude. Bunch of spiky traps and stuff. And then people would go Goblin so they could like jump off the side to avoid a mechanic, and then Goblin booster themselves back on. It was his actual name. Also went Goblin for Mythic Heal Jaden. I think that's just because... What raid was Painsmith even part of? I'm completely blanking. But I remember I was watching Race to World First Progress on that one because it took so stinking long. Like, people got walled on that boss for a long time. Sanctum of Domination. That's right. That's right. Cosmetic glowy flight trail effects that you leave behind you as you fly. The Cherry Blossom Trail toy from Remix is actually kind of does that. It doesn't leave cherry blossoms behind you like you would expect it to, but it's got a big green floofy cloud. There might be like a petal in there somewhere, but it's kind of hard to see. They do the RP skip? Fancy. I'm so buying tusks after this. Here's an RP skip for this. I think you drag one of the Ichor Visarge slimes over to Garrosh, and it'll like reset him basically in a way that skips the RP. Don't tell me I don't have a pet. It's true, I don't have a pet. There we go. Oh, now I have a pet, but he's dead. Did we miss the timer? I think we did it. I did this. Was I streaming? I think I was streaming. And we didn't beat the Iron Star timer, and 2 Iron Stars came, and they just, like, smoked everyone. Oh, no, maybe I wasn't. Maybe that was on one of my days off. I died to an Iron Star. It was really embarrassing. So did most of the rest of the raid, but still. Like, oh yeah, this mechanic. That was a Tuesday group, I think? Yeah. Flabby managed to duck and dive around them. You had me going for a second when you started the sentence with my favorite boss was Muazala and the other side. I liked the sass of the voice acting of that fight.
Shockwave.
The other side was just too much running. Treadmill simulator. Did an Iron Star on Mythic? Turns out it does about 28 mil damage with 100% burst.
Shockwave.
Thanks for the remix leveling guide. Did it for the first time. Works well. Oh, nice. This is Heroic Siege of Orgrimmar in Pandaria Remix. I'm doing it for bronze, and I'm doing it for bones. Yeah. It is easier than Heroic Throne of Thunder. Heroic Throne of Thunder is also easy if you get a stacked group like this, though. Because you don't deal with any of the mechanics. You don't have to do the beam thing on Durimu, or the whatever you're supposed to do for Dark Animus. It just doesn't come up. Here we go. So I'm up to 30 of 38 bones. So if I do this 2 more days, then I'll have enough bones to buy all the heirlooms and tusks. But in the meantime, thank you. In the meantime, let's go buy us some tusks. I think you mean toenails. Congrats on your tusks. Why, thank you. I'm gonna have to log on to retail to mog them onto somebody just to prove that this was all worth something. Doodly Bear, thank you for the brand new sub. Appreciate it. New camera angle? I'm just here, let me scooch. There we go. I'm just I was sitting up straight. I have it set so that when I start to slouch I'm still in the shot. Don't remember the door. Engage shrimp mode. Okay. 1 Tusks of Manoroth. That's the toys. That's not right. We're looking for the heroic raid vendor. Also, I did another daily. Get some more threads. Oh, I'm still in the raid group. I should leave. Oh my gosh. I have 54k bronze just from like basic dailies and 1 raid clear of siege. This is excellent. Dun, 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 dun. Death Knights, Paladins, Warriors. Death Knights, Paladins, Warriors. All right. Who wears it? Where are my plate wearers at? Welcome to my alt list if you've never seen it. Don't worry about all the hunters and priests and druids and stuff. It's fine. Also, at some point I have to finish leveling this poor mage. I started leveling her before I had tried the power level thing, so she's been leveling the old-fashioned way, and it's awful. I need to just do a couple raid clears and get carried through some heroic dungeons or something. Alright, plate wearers, plate wearers. So this is one plate wearer, but she's already perfect. So she's out. I kind of want something bigger than a gnome to wear tusks. I forgot that I had Crinkle the Warrior. He could wear tusks. What else do I got? Ooh, I forgot I leveled a warrior. That's right. I have a Worgen warrior. Are tusks weird in a Worgen? Does it just look like they ran through like a blackberry bush and then like didn't deal with it? Yeah, I've got a paladin. This is my paladin. Man, this. Vote for Jess. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? You don't know what I'm gonna do because I haven't told you yet, but I know what I'm gonna do. Guess I've missed every paladin stream ever. I was gonna start another paladin too. Wasn't I leveling one? I thought I was boosting a paladin. A dwarf paladin, right? I like his chesticles. I'm gonna make him a Mog that goes with tusks that still features his chesticles. Is my plan here. And then I have to go because short stream today. So we're gonna start with the important thing. Heaven forbid the search engine work. I don't know about you guys, and maybe it's my add-ons breaking it or whatever, but like basically never on a very rare occasion will the search bar actually work for me. Not that. I know they're here because I just learned them. Do I have to do anything? The preview for tusks in the window is weird. Some of them look like tusks from Kmart. Okay, I'm gonna have to look more closely. Because I didn't see them, but they must be here. I saw it in the middle somewhere. Okay. That's Bloodhunter Hornmantle. That's not right. Although Hornmantle does sound pretty funny. No. Must be with the mop stuff, eh? Because this is BFA, so we haven't gone far enough back. I'm not going to filter to sources because that's just going to confuse things. There it is. It does look kind of funny. I was looking for more of a thorn bit, but there it is. Okay. So that's good. Let's start with a new outfit. Just so that I don't have to find it again. We'll start with that. Oh, I shouldn't have done that because expensive. We're going to take this off. We're going to find him. So he's wearing plate. I was thinking the leather, but it doesn't matter because he's wearing plate. I want his outfit to go with it, but in like a V-neck kind of way. This is a potential. The Black Veil Draken jacket might work. Also cool. Maybe not the right. I mean, it doesn't clash necessarily. Might put that on and come back to it. Let me just check and see. What else do we have in terms of like strappy brown harnesses for plate wearing gentlemen? Oh yeah. That's a little more what I had in mind. I could also look into shirts, but I'm not gonna bother. There's that. Druidic Guardian plate. I feel like that chainmail is going to be a problem for him, chafing-wise. We're not trying to remove anything. Yeah, and this wears Pride Month outfits all year. Yeah, okay. And then belt-wise, oh, I had some things filtered. Let's hide the belt for now. We might come back and add some extra belts because you can't ever have too many buckles. The gloves and bracers. Let's start by hiding bracers and then maybe looking into some gloves. I want understated. I want slimline. Not red. Ooh. He could have his opera gloves, but that's ugly, so we're not gonna. We could also just do no gloves. Nothing says he has to have gloves. Kind of, you know, draws the attention up to his bicep band that he can snap for dramatic effect whenever he really needs to win an argument. Yeah, I like it better without the gloves. Okay. And then we're looking at pants. This is going to be tricky because there's only so many things that have the kind of breeziness that I'm looking for, but I do want them to kind of go, although that is pretty funny. There's something about the flow of that that I'm enjoying, but it's not specifically. That's kind of cool. Excavator's rugged pants. You've also got Drake Racer's leggings, but let's just have a look-see. Also, I need to make sure I'm a little over, and I need to make sure I don't go too over. Because I like the whole thighs out, skies out thing. Skies out, thighs out. I had it backwards. But I want the colors to match. And these colors just aren't there. I never know what any of my mog is called. I have to look at it to get a feel for what's going on. We are getting somewhere with this, though. Could give him a skirt, too. Give him a big ol' sarong. Because this is not, it just doesn't match, you know? Like, alright, I want something that kind of goes with tusks in the one-handed sword category. The shovel matches beautifully color-wise, but, like, do we have anything with more, like, bone and thorn bits? Maybe something from Warlords. There was lots of bones and thorns going around in Warlords. That's an eel cutter. I feel like the shield's gonna be more fun than the sword. RTS Planner, thank you for the 47-month resub. Appreciate it. Is that a loincloth? Summer, though. Too hot? Yeah. It's giving... It's giving Bridgerton ball fashion because it doesn't have to have anything to do with Regency. Mythic Siege gives you some kind of a feat of strength and a title. Paragon of the Mists, people were telling me yesterday. Alright, we must have cool shields that would go with this. We could give him a furry shield. We can give him... There must be something cool. I also need to keep an eye on the time. There are cool shields in here, aren't there? That's not like the vibe, but it's fun. Sometimes I just like give him a little buckler and then being like, good luck, buddy. You go fight that dragon. Have fun. Meanwhile, he's got like a ship wheel on his arm. Oh dear. Dear, dear me. Okay. I liked the furry one, to be honest with you. That's kind of cool too, actually. It's got some spikes. Although they're like... Yeah. Alright. And then what about boots? Yeah, strappies. Any helmets that improve this without making it too clunky? Shades. They don't really... It has to make sense in my brain. I love how when you put a beanie on him and his elf ears still stick out, it instantly takes him from, like, glorious paladin on field of shining battle to like Jared from the post office. Like he still looks good. He is just dressed down. And I say that as someone that wears hats like that. Give him a little crown. Give him some goggles. I'm just gonna give him no helmet. There we go. Let's see how he did. I'm on board. I'm alright with it. Shield looks cool in the back. But then it covers up his shoulder blades. If you can't see his scapulas, how are you gonna get to know him? His beautiful back. Okay, I gotta go. Thank you very much for joining me today, guys. I'll be back for another itsy bitsy little short stream tomorrow. I appreciate your company. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.